Has this ever happened to you? You're mindlessly scrolling through TikTok 5 hours deep into your nightly bedtime routine of consumption of brain rot, and you come across a video, unprompted, of a woman having the most heartbreaking, soul-wrenching mental breakdown of her entire life, screaming and shaking like she's filming a scene from The Exorcist. And you think to yourself, maybe she shouldn't have posted that. Or maybe it's a video of some random lady going through a Starbucks drive-thru and trauma dumping and crying to this drive-thru worker about her dead husband. Or maybe it's the myriad of other TikToks or Instagram reels online that you see of people sharing the most heinous traumatic stories of their lives. And before the older generation comes on here and says how Gen Z needs to go outside and touch grass and how they're chronically online, even though it was the older generation who literally built this capitalistic media infrastructure that literally feeds off of the attention span of the younger generation and has commodified every aspect of the internet and therefore our lives. Yeah, before we talk about that, I want to talk about how we got here. Hi, Caitlin here, and in today's video, I want to talk about oversharing on the internet, specifically through the lens of performative authenticity and the social paradigm shift that has been brought about by the evolution of social media. Hope you enjoy today's video. It's October of 2010, and Instagram has just been released in the App Store for the first time. And you might be wondering, or you might not be wondering at all, what were people even posting back then, back in the olden days of 2010? And I'll tell you, people were literally posting whatever the fuck they wanted. This was before the time of branding and curating your feed and being an influencer and having that be like a viable job that could pay the bills and then some. Where Kylie Jenner was posting pictures of flaming balls instead of promoting her new perfume. Or where Harry Styles was posting pictures of a bunch of deer instead of promoting his new perfume. Is deer already plural? And where Justin Bieber was posting a picture of LA traffic instead of a picture of his beautiful wife. Congrats to the happy couple. I wish you nothing but joy and happiness for the rest of your life. Side note, looking through Justin Bieber's Instagram feed, you might think, oh wow, he doesn't really care about curating a feed or having an aesthetic, so to speak. But I think this in itself is a branding choice. I mean, he's a multi-million-dollar internationally recognized name. You'd think he doesn't have a PR team that's handling all this stuff. No, it's there. He and his team have made a conscious effort to curate his feed so that he comes off as relatable and authentic. This sort of leads into the topic of performative authenticity that I want to get into later on in this video. But for now, let's talk more about as social media became more widely used and available, with personal cell phones and data plans being more widely available, I should say, to the masses. Suddenly, it wasn't just your closest friends and family seeing your post about your microwavable Stover's lasagna. Suddenly, it was Janice from Wisconsin also seeing your post about your Stouffer's microwavable lasagna. And we have to impress Janice, obviously. Gradually, or not so gradually at all, we as a collective people decided that only the best of the best moments of our lives could be posted onto social media. We had to curate a feed and a life that looked dazzling, worthy to be consumed by Janice from Wisconsin. So people really started caring about creating a personal brand, an aesthetic.
If I had to build a personal brand from scratch,
2024 is the year of building your personal brand.
I don't care what stage you are in your career. If you haven't started building a personal brand, you need to be, and here's how to do it.
Which is really fucking dystopian because you're a person with an insanely rich inner life and backstory and lore. You're not a Wendy's.
Ma'am, this is a Wendy's.
This shift in the dynamics of social media also marked a great shift in how people started to use social media. Suddenly, it's not just a place where you're posting quirky photos to your closest friends and family. It's also now a platform for you to commodify your life. Your entire personality can now be boiled down to these small moments where you've spent hours curating and editing and choosing what goes on your feed. Not one single photo can be out of place. Something that is outside the confines of your brand will be eliminated from your feed. One article writes, "What is intriguing is the intersection of branding and performative authenticity. that when we brand, our audience is assuming that what we are presenting of ourselves as a truth. Violating that covenant isn't just a bad branding decision then, it becomes a betrayal. It creates a relationship with the target audience that goes deeper than typical performances do. People can understand that a good actor is playing a part that is not them. But branding goes further. It is about crafting an illusion of a real person. The brand persona is assumed to be the real life self. With this phenomena of self-branding, you see that when influencers try to step outside the confines that they've constructed for their brand, their audiences are usually very quick to whip them back into shape and get them back in line. Because God forbids a person grows throughout their life, right? Creators therefore start feeling very pigeonholed into the content that they are presenting online. And so they end up creating the same stuff over and over and over and over and over. Example that comes to mind is the YouTube lifestyle girlies that were very popular back in like 2015 or so. They were still out here making like back to school content, even though a lot of them had graduated from high school or college more than 5 years ago. But this was the kind of content that was very popular. And this was also the kind of content that they had been producing for multiple years. So when that happens, you as a creator often feel like, hey, this is a formula that works. Why would I stray from it, even though it isn't true to me? And since then, you've really seen creators getting burnt out by this, by creating the same kind of content over and over and having an audience that is very unrelenting in growing with them.
I know you recently took a break from your main.
Yeah.
But you started it back up, right?
Yeah, I think I took like a 2.5 month break, which
I remember that.
Never done before. I think like in the span of 7 to 8 years, I don't think I ever missed a week, maybe like 1 or 2, but like I just like had this fear that like if you took a break or took time off, you would lose everything that you've worked for. And so it was just like so nerve-wracking, which is absolutely not healthy. Like that is how you burn out. That is absolutely how you burn out.
You've literally been posting since you were how young?
Since I was 19. Yeah. And so like it's been a long journey, and I think the hardest part of it is being able to grow up on the internet. So even at 19, like things were just, I would say from like 19 to 25, I kind of backed myself into this like very family-friendly corner. And so breaking...
I was literally just going to talk about this.
Yeah, okay, so it's like, it's a whole thing. So like kind of breaking free of that has been a process because like a lot of the audience that has... There's like two sides. There's the group that is mad and they want me to keep making kids content. And that just like sucks my soul, and I can't do it anymore. Like I did that for so many years.
But like Lauren was saying, I grew out of this kind of content that they were producing because I just didn't find it relatable to me anymore. And it wasn't until Lauren made the switch to not being family friendly that I started watching her again, because I felt like it was more authentic to who she was as a person, and I could also relate to what she was talking about again. You know, there's only so many slime videos or back to school videos or lunch video. Actually, no, I love watching lunch videos. You get the point. And it was around the mid-2010s that you really started hearing the phrase, social media is a highlight reel. Consumers were just becoming aware of the effect that social media was having on their mental health. People just felt bad whenever they opened up any form of social media and they would see nothing but highlight reels of everyone else's life. You see Deborah going to these cool underground warehouse parties and getting like the latest YSL bag. Or you see Janice going to get married to her third husband. And you think, damn, my life is not this cool. So the market corrected itself and you started seeing the rise of more relatable and authentic content creators. Authenticity has been a big buzzword in the sphere of social media for the past decade or so, to the point where big businesses and corporations have started adopting authenticity as part of their social media campaigns. But what does being authentic mean? In the modern media landscape, I think it means being transparent, genuine, and operating within the confines of your mission statement. Think Emma Chamberlain starting her own coffee company. That feels very authentic to her brand because in all of her vlogs, she talks about how much she loves coffee, making coffee in every single vlog. You can tell that she genuinely loves coffee. So it just makes sense. Now, if she were to start a company that sold hamster cages, you would probably be like, what the fuck? You literally have never mentioned anything about hamsters. And that would feel very inauthentic to her brand. And her audience would probably be pretty quick to call her out on it. Because of this craving for authenticity, we've really seen a lot of online spaces pop up that foster this sense. In the past few years, we've seen Be Real have massive success among the younger generation. It was an app that only let you take pictures of your surroundings at a specific time. And I think most importantly, it gives users a space that was ad-free. There's also the new upcoming No Space, which is sort of Gen Z's version of MySpace.
I know y'all have been seeing so many ads on your For You page. No place this, no place that. But what even is no place? This is my page, but you can edit your page however you want. From the width of your text to the colors to the profile pic. One of my favorite features are the stars. Stars are kind of like hobbies and interests. You pick what your interests are and you get matched up with like-minded people. You can also post what you're currently listening to, watching, reading, eating, doing, playing, feeling, where you are. Just keep your friends updated. Not only can you do all that, you can pick your top 10 friends.
Also, since filming and researching for this video, it seems like No Space has gotten a cease and desist letter from none other than our boy Tom from MySpace. So they've now changed their name to No Place. Yeah, I didn't even know that MySpace still existed until researching for this video, so that's cool. Back in the early 2020s, we also had the Make Instagram Casual Again movement, where you saw a lot more people posting just regular, unfiltered pictures of their everyday lives. We've also seen the rise of Finstas. And for anyone who doesn't know what a Finsta is, it's a fake Instagram, where instead of posting to 450,000 strangers highly edited photos that took hours to curate and edit, you can now post to your 6 closest friends a picture of your half-eaten sandwich. When asked about why they have a Finsta, one user said, "It's just so I could post really stupid stuff. Like, my Finsta is the epitome of my personality, and if I post the stuff I post on my Finsta on my main, I know I would get a handful of judgment, not only from strangers and friends, but from family too. So my Finsta is a safe haven for me to be weird and low-key risque." And over the past few months, I've also seen a lot of videos pop up on my feed about social media detoxes, or I spent half a year off of social media. It just seems like the needle for how consumers want to spend their time online, if they want to spend it online at all, is moving towards a landscape that has no ads and instead fosters community and connections with friends that you already have, or possibly even other like-minded peers. Because truly at the end of the day, I think what we really want is to find connection, especially in the midst of what people are calling the loneliness epidemic right now. We don't really want to buy another Stanley Cup that's like slightly more beige than the one that we already have. We don't really want to buy another Halara sweatpant.
Actually like to pay for the person behind me. Today is National Day of Remembrance for homicide victims, and my husband was brutally killed. So I just wanted to give some love today, and I hope that, you know, if anybody that you lost, and I feel like there is somebody, she's watching you. She's watching you all the time, and she loves you. So, this is for the people behind me. I know. I actually record these things. Can you say hi to people? This is Trinity. We need more kindness.
Yeah, that was a lot. First off, that poor Starbucks worker. She was a really good sport about it, and she was very kind and didn't throw her drink in her face. But like, service workers already got enough shit as it is. Like, we don't really need people coming in and like trauma dumping on them and also recording it for the internet to see. Secondly, there is something very disingenuous about this video. The act of sort of setting up your camera, pressing record, and then filming yourself telling this random stranger about the most traumatic experience of your life, and then crying. Yes, while sad, there is something very performative about it. And I'm all about like a 3-hour cry session in your bedroom with Evanescence playing in the background. But that time is sacred, you know? That time is between you and God, not between you, the Starbucks worker, and the entire internet. But we've gotten some good memes out of it, so not all is lost.
Day of Remembrance for homicide victims, and my husband was brutally killed.
And your total will be $937, please.
Hot take, or maybe not so hot take. I think all authenticity that is posted on the internet is performative. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, but I think that is just the nature of filming yourself, editing, and then posting. There is no part of this that is not performative. In his book, The Society of Singularities, the German social theorist Andreas Reckwitz, I think that's how you say his name, argues that a larger authenticity revolution has swept the world during the past 40 years. The register of values has shifted, he shows, away from anything standardized and regular and towards objects, images, services, and events that are regarded as being unique and singular. Enormous energy is now directed to making things appear authentic. That is particular and distinctive, standing apart from the typical, the ordinary, the mass-produced. Uniqueness has a social status and a value of its own. In order for people to distinguish themselves, they must seek attention and visibility, and positively affect others with their self-representations, personal characteristics, and quality of life. In doing so, they have to take great care that their performance isn't perceived as staged. To be authentic, genuine, they have to give the impression that they're just being themselves. The effort has to appear effortless, otherwise it'll backfire.
I am processing the most triggering breakup I've had in 9 years.
Wait, so my entire family just died in a plane crash? No, sorry, I just don't really know what to say. Could I actually call you back later?
A lot of articles have come out in the past few years or so talking about the loneliness epidemic, and you've also seen a lot of those essays here on YouTube as well. Here are some pretty good ones if you want to check them out. A lot of these articles and essays talk about how this loneliness epidemic is directly related to phone usage and social media. Even though social media is such a big part of all of our lives now, we've really eliminated face-to-face time for face-to-phone time. And I think people have just forgotten how to act and how to socialize. So instead of sharing your deepest, darkest secrets to your closest friends, you are now sharing it to the internet. Social media and the internet has created a simulacrum of real life, and we've now replaced real relationships with parasocial ones. And this performance that we're doing for social media really fosters a profound sense of isolation, I think, as well as a sense of insecurities within ourselves. Because when every aspect of your life is posted, and there's a number associated with it telling you how many people liked it, how many people reposted it, how many people related to you, you start to feel like your whole life could be boiled down to just a series of likes. And truly, how do you put a number on something as traumatic as your husband dying, or something as traumatic as going through the worst breakup of your entire life? Okay, I've been talking for way too long. Maybe we should bring back shame. But yeah, I think something should be kept secret, something should be kept sacred, something should be kept from the internet. But really, who cares what I think? You could post whatever the fuck you want. It's your life, it's your account. But yeah, that's it for me. If you like this video, give it a like, subscribe if you want. Okay, bye!